So way back in 2013, Peter King, then writing for Sports Illustrated, declared that he was no longer calling the Washington Redskins because the name Redskins was derogatory. It wasn't politically correct. From then on, he was just going to say the Washington football team. In fact, I did a little search for it. It's right here. And that got the ball rolling within the mainstream media as others followed suit. One that I can think of is Joe Buck, who at the time was working for Fox. Let's see who else. I know there's some people over at NBC doing Sunday Night Football. Can't remember the names, but you get the gist. This was all in an effort to put pressure on then owner Dan Snyder to change the name of the Redskins. By the way, the Redskins have been around for 87 years. They are or were an iconic franchise of the NFL. And then fast forward, I think it was middle of the year last year. I did a video on this. I'd have to find it. Now I'll link to it in the description down below, and I'll put a little card up here linking to that video, where a Native American group had basically said, enough. We want the name Redskins back. We don't look upon it as derogatory, as racist. In fact, we think it honors Native Americans in our culture. Now, of course, it's a bunch of white guys that decided that Redskins was racist or not politically correct. Because if you take a poll of Indian groups, you'll find that they don't find it offensive. So this is from Outkick.com. Alejandra Avila put this out yesterday. Native American group rekindles fight for return of Washington Redskins. And they should return, in my opinion. You can comment down below if you disagree with me, or even if you agree with me, you can comment down below. Washington's football team has been stuck in an identity crisis since it bent the knee and erased the Washington Redskins. Calling the logo and the NFL team name offensive to Native Americans, the Washington franchise willingly stepped out of its famed image to pursue a new, more politically correct approach, which has gone terribly since dropping the Redskins in 2020. For 87 years, the franchise held an iconic image. One Native American group, NAGA, Native American Guardians Association, is actively working to reinstate the Washington Redskins. With leadership recently transitioning from Dan Snyder to new majority owner Josh Harris, fans hope for a return to the Washington Redskins as part of the new era. NAGA delivered a statement to TMZ Sports after recent comments from Harris expressed that there would be no return to the former name. Now, you know, if the NFL had done its due diligence and, you know, got away from the DEI social justice crap, they would have done focus groups with Native Americans. They would know that their team name is considered indefensible, as it was a series of commanders, many from DC, who decimated the once formidable native nations of this continent, NAGA told TMZ. Before turning into the Washington Commanders, worst team name ever, by the way. Washington's team was egregiously referred to as the Washington football team from 2020 to 2022. NAGA's mission has also been to clear the stigma of the name, sharing that Native American groups don't actually find it offensive. Well, what? Native Americans don't find that offensive. Like I stated just a few minutes ago, it's a bunch of white people that find it offensive on behalf of Native Americans. The Washington Post published a poll in 2016 that found that 90% of Native Americans were not offended by the Washington Redskins name. Same thing could be said for the Cleveland Indians, who are now the Cleveland Guardians. Same thing could be said for the people that are pushing the Kansas City Chiefs and the Atlanta Braves to get rid of the tomahawk chop that their fans do during games. Same thing could be said to the NCAA, who did their damnedest to eliminate all Native American imagery, and some schools would call them mascots. Other schools would call them symbols. Like the University of Illinois, the chief was a symbol, not a mascot. By threatening schools to not be able to host NCAA postseason games or tournaments on their campuses unless they kowtowed and eliminated or changed their school nicknames, mascots, symbols, whatever. See, it's always a bunch of liberal white people that find it offensive. Now, the only reason why the Florida State Seminoles can still use Seminoles and have their university symbol, because I'm not going to call their chief a mascot. He's not a mascot. He's a symbol. Is because the university paid the Seminole tribe a hefty sum of money to be able to still use it. NAGA also bashed people fighting to eliminate the Redskins as crying wokesters, which they are, saying Native Americans have been ignored by today's woke racist decision makers at the DC-based franchise, which continues to insist on utilizing the most degrading and insensitive namesake in any sports league, the Commanders. I would not just say degrading or insensitive. I'd just say flat out freaking boring. NAGA, along with many NFL fans, argue that restoring the Redskins name and logo helps to preserve the historical connection between the franchise and Native American culture. As the original Americans, we deserve better than to be labeled DC Commanders. It's insulting. We deserve honest representation and the telling of the truth. Educate, not eradicate. Common sense. Aren't we starting to get back to that? Common sense. Something we've gotten away from in the last, 35 years. In related cases, the Kansas City Chiefs and Atlanta Braves have been pressed to do away with their tomahawk chop celebration for its insensitive ties to Native Americans. Again, white liberals want that. In 2022, the Cleveland Indians kowtowed to pressure and took a similar path to the Washington Redskins, changing into the Cleveland Guardians. Again, another boring name. As Clay Travis, founder of Outkick, has stated, most fans complaining about things like the Redskins name are not actually sports fans, but people with political agendas. So, my opinion, they should bring back the Redskins. Hell, they should bring back the Indians. What do you have to say out there? Comment down below. While you're at it, please take the time to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Share this video out there with your friends and family. And with that, I will see you guys later.